Hi everybody and welcome to Behind the Bars TV, where everything I cover is prison related, unless it's to do with me shop. Go check it out, the link is in the description, my new online shop, ruthlessfitness.shop. So, in this episode I'm going to be talking about two separate incidents in high security prisons. Everyone that's been following my channel know I talk a lot about what happens in the high security prisons and tell you just how dangerous them prisons are. Now, both of these involve prisoner attacks on prison officers. And everyone that's been following my channel for a while, when I do prison news, I look up on the latest news what's going on now in the prisons and talk about topics that pop up. Now, this one is prisoner at HMP Whitemoor has sentence extended after biting off officer's earlobe. So the prisoner is Nathan Deacon, who's already serving a sentence. I have looked into it to try and see what sentence he's already serving and what for, but nothing has come up. I can't find anything on that. It just says he's had his sentence increased by 3 years. And it says a man who bit off a prison officer's earlobe following an argument about a dressing gown has had his sentence increased. Nathan Deacon, 36, was on his way to collect his evening meal at around 6:30 on the 14th of September 2020 when he was stopped by the prison officer at a gate in HMP Whitemoor. Deacon was wearing a dressing gown which was not allowed in the catering area. Now, I know exactly what this situation is all about because being in high security prison myself, in these type of prisons you're allowed what you would call home comforts. You can get yourself as comfortable as possible. You're allowed a lot more things in the high security prisons than what you are in normal prisons, especially like a category C's. You're allowed dressing gowns, you're allowed pyjamas, you're allowed home comforts like this. But what you're not allowed is, like it mentions here, when you go around for your dinner, your tea, whatever, when you go around to the servery, you've got to be dressed appropriately. Now, a lot of the times when you're in a rush, you've been for a shower or whatever, you've got your dressing gown on, you're rushing to get back round for your dinner. And a lot of the officers will just give you a bit of leeway and just say, hurry up, get your meal, get back to your pad. But you do get the odd officers that will make a fuss about it. They'll make, what should I say, they'll make the situation worse where they could have just said, right, do it this time, next time, make sure you haven't got your dressing gown on. But on the same hand, you have got the prisoners that will take the piss, that'll go around all the time. They'll have arguments with the screws, and this is probably what's happened in this situation, where they have arguments and they're having discussions saying about wearing this dressing gown or flip-flops or whatever they're wearing on the way to the servery that they're not allowed to wear, and some of the prisoners will take the piss. And some of the screws will take the piss. But in this incident, it says when challenged about this, Deacon became argumentative and attempted to push the officer. As the officer tried to restrain him, Deacon leant in and bit off his earlobe. The officer was taken to hospital, but it was established the earlobe could not be reattached. And on the 8th of April, at Cambridge Crown Court, Deacon pleaded guilty to assault causing grievous bodily harm without intent. He was ordered to serve an additional 3 years in prison at the end of his current sentence. DC Emma Purser said this was a vicious attack that has left the victim permanently disfigured. The prison officer was simply trying to do his job, trying to enforce the rules of the prison. To attack him in this way was completely unacceptable. Now, like I've mentioned about these scenarios and these cases, how they can get blown out of proportion, and in this case, it actually has. And he's went on to bite the officer's earlobe off, which is a very drastic action, and he's been lucky to have just gotten an additional 3 years, to be honest. But like I mentioned, when I did try to look into this to see what the original sentence was, I couldn't find anything, but I did find that the officer's family had actually set a GoFundMe up. And in this article, it doesn't mention anything about any other injuries apart from the biting and the earlobe. But in another one where I was looking up on, it did actually say that he was in hospital for 3.5 weeks in intensive care because of a bleed on the brain because of this. So this hasn't given up the full article, but this is all that I'm getting on this article. But if that is the case, he has been lucky to just get an additional 3 years on top of his sentence. He must have been doing a life sentence, I believe, and he's got to do 3 years on top of the life sentence. So say he's doing a 21-year tariff, he'll now be doing a 24-year tariff. So an additional 3 is really a 6, because it'll be 3 years he'll have to serve. But this next one is about an attack up in HMP Franklin on officers again. And the headline on this one is Evil Predator Who Murdered Sabina Nessa in Greenwich attacks prison guards. Sokochi Salamaj is currently serving a life sentence in HMP Franklin. But when I looked up onto this, I can't really remember this case in the news. But it's a shocking case what he's actually in prison for. So it goes on to say the evil predator who murdered primary school teacher Sabina Nessa in Kidbrook has admitted attacking 2 prison officers. Now this inmate will be on the VP wings in Franklin, which is the vulnerable prisoner wings, also known as the nonce wings or the bacon wings, because he is serving a life sentence for murdering an innocent 28-year-old Miss Nessa as she walked through Cater Park in September 2021. On Thursday of the April 11th, 2024, he appeared at Newcastle Crown Court where he admitted wounding one person with intent and assaulting another, causing actual body harm. The offence related to an incident at HMP Franklin where Salamaj was being held in May last year. He will be sentenced at Newcastle Crown Court on the 14th of June for this offence, so I will keep you updated on what actually happens. But I will tell you a little bit about his case, what he was actually in Franklin for. He targeted Miss Nessa as she walked through the park to meet a friend. CCTV footage captured the moment Salamaj ran up behind her and hit her over the head 34 times with a 2-foot-long metal traffic triangle. He carried her unconscious body up a grassy bank and out of view. He then pulled up her clothes, removed her tights and underwear, and strangled her before covering her body in the grass. Miss Nessa, who taught a 1-year class at Rushy Green Primary School in Catford, was found nearly 24 hours later near a community centre in the park. Days later, Salamaj from Eastbourne, East Sussex, was arrested in the seaside town and pleaded guilty to the murder. But this case is truly shocking because this was just, any murder is shocking, but what I mean by this case is it was an unprovoked attack. He just picked a random stranger. He just picked a stranger at random and decided to go and murder her. Followed her through the park. He got a train into wherever from where he was from, went into a park and picked Miss Nessa as the innocent victim and went on to do that. But he's in Franklin and he's went on to attack prison officers. So I can only imagine what these officers must be thinking about him. They've got this person, this animal, what's done this type of offence in their prison, and then he's attacking the officers. But believe you me, them screws in Franklin Block would have give him the beating of his life. Obviously, they're not supposed to do that, but when he's attacking them officers and he gets restrained, them restraint techniques will be forcibly done and he'll be getting some prison officer justice in the segregation unit in Franklin. Because, like I've mentioned on my channel, about inmates that get prison justice, there's also the other side of it where the inmates get prison officer justice and that involves a beatdown in the segregation unit. But some people might say it's exactly what they deserve. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just telling you the facts. But anyways, people, I just thought I would bring up some news about what's happening in the high security prisons, because these offences are going on daily within the prisons, especially the high security prisons. Officers are getting attacked on a daily basis. It's in the news all the time. Obviously, it doesn't come up on the mainstream news, but when you're following these type of news apps, it comes up, and I'm going to be bringing it direct to you people, and letting you know what's happening inside of the prisons. But again, as usual, hopefully you enjoyed the content, and if you are enjoying it, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And also, go and hit up my website, Ruthless Fitness. It's got all my clothing wear on. There's a range of fitness products on, and it's print on demand, drop shipping, and it's actually taken off at the minute, and it's all through me subscribers. That's where a lot of my sales are coming from. So again, thank you all for your continuing support. Have a great week and take care, everyone.